That was some good ASMR on that one.
Picking up Hartman was big.
Go ahead and flex, Kobe.
Just flip a coin and hire one of them.
Did you get the sword of John
we
Adams?
did get the sword of John Adams, yeah. At like 11 or midnight, we've decided it's never been a bad idea to have an extra pizza in the refrigerator.
But I don't want us to have that bourbon flavor for some of the other earlier beers. So let's start with prom.
You don't want me to be drunk on camera, is that what
This is the Varsity Brews podcast, back with you for another exciting edition of one of the greatest podcasts in the history of podcasts.
Evan Tarmac dug the gold out of his car and finally brought it back to the podcast.
Dude, that looks legit and shiny right now,
you
especially
polish
against
that?
this shirt right here.
Well, I polished it a little bit.
Vahid Sadrzadeh, Evan Sharpley, our quarterback, and of course our master brewer, not what you were thinking, our master brewer, Aaron West.
I'm down 2 pounds, so I'm good.
Hey!
Was it Jermaine Dupree?
Yes, Jermaine Dupree.
Is it really?
We were talking about who else was on the halftime show of the Super Bowl last night.
Wearing the Mayflower threes.
Yeah, he was wearing something. It was something, I got to tell you. Well, we are here in the where all the magic happens in WestWind Brewery.
We're in the brew house.
That's what you officially call this spot right here?
Sure.
Is it sponsored by anything? Sponsored by WestWind Brewery.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So tell the people what we're looking at here.
Okay, well, it's officially sponsored by Patrick because that's how I got here, right? So, but got to throw some love in there.
Is that what it's called, love?
Yeah, right. No, we're actually in the this is the fermentation room, so I guess you could say. So we brew in the same area, 1,500 square feet, so everything's tight. So you got to get love it. But I actually set up for this emergency podcast. We're like, hey, everybody's traveling, I get it, and so we wanted to do it, and so I decided to throw out a big bomb. Look back there and see what it is. What does that say?
Love for Patrick Industries. I mean,
Love for Maui?
Yeah, I'm going to go back and brew it.
Back! It's back, baby!
Listen, we were down in Indianapolis this weekend, and it was crazy because so many people were asking about this beer. They were walking up. So when we went
what?
Yeah, when we were walking around and you were buying everything at all the wares shops.
I was shopping.
Yeah. But he had his
I know, I saw.
But he had
Michael Jackson Thriller.
Michelle goes, hey, there was a lot of people that asked for Love for Maui. They were disappointed it wasn't here. I'm like, you kidding me? It was a one-time beer. I'm like, so we're going to go back and make it. So that's what I'm brewing tomorrow morning at 3 a.m.
That is a shocker.
What time is it right now?
It's almost 3.
Buddy, it's a shocker.
If you go to sleep right now, you'll get 6 hours.
Yeah,
Can't believe you're brewing tomorrow morning.
I know. That's what brewers do.
Ice Delay Pomegranate right behind us. It has a fresh date of 2/9/24.
Yeah, maybe sometime throughout the podcast, I'll pour a little sample off there since we're set up right behind it. And that's a brand new one. It's very good. It's got a nice little tartness, not overly sweet, but if you like pomegranate, which I believe pomegranates are actually good for you.
I think so.
Absolutely.
Right? Does anybody know? All right. So, so we did Ice Delay straight pomegranate. So it's
called
kind of nice.
It's a superfood, isn't it? Or a super...
Yeah, I do believe it is a superfruit.
Yeah.
Steak is, too.
This guy's on the all-meat,
El Carne.
all-carne diet. And I've actually transitioned to the carne diet now. So...
You're transitioning right now?
Was that from this weekend when we were drinking gin and tonics or no?
Pomegranates, anti-inflammatory properties, anti-cancer, urinary health, and digestive health benefits.
See?
Elevated
I love it.
That's why WestWind
Thanks,
does it.
Julie.
Yeah.
The uncut gem.
That was like an uncut gem, snuck in her.
That was an impromptu uncut gem. I love it. Well, this is a podcast where we talk about craft beer and not only college football, but football, sports in general. And, of course, we're going to be talking about Super Bowl 58. No, 58. I'm 10 years behind here. Super Bowl 58 in Vegas, baby, where they want to have every Super Bowl from now on because it was so fly and so good.
All right.
And we're going to be talking about his Ice Delay Pomegranate coming up and some of the things that are going on in WestWind. But we want to thank our sponsors first for making this all possible. Of course, JC's Coal Oven Pizza.
Yeah.
Stop by, grab a slice and a brew. Talk about what's going on there.
This week's been crazy. I've probably slept like a combined total hours of like 10 hours over the last like 14 days, maybe 3 weeks. But
you can see it in his eyes.
Yeah, I'm a little tired. We got all 8
fueled by gin and tonic.
Fueled by gin and tonic in the off hours. But yeah, we got all 8 tap handles over there. We stirred up the pot a little bit. So
Tap takeover.
Got a
WestWind versus everybody.
yeah, WestWind versus everybody.
It sure is on, buddy. So we got stop in for a brew and stop in for a slice of za, and the Rotoli's are awesome. The wings, I've been super into the hot honey wings recently.
Best ranch.
Best ranch in town by a mile. And the lasagna, very, very underrated lasagna.
Gabe from Rustic Rocks. There's just a little plug there.
Yeah, Gabe from WestWind Rocks.
I told him, I said, hey, it's the best lasagna in the north, man. Just go try it.
I
Lil
just
Wayne
called
would
it
be proud,
WestWind
right?
Rocks.
Yeah.
That's what I just said. Gabe from WestWind Rocks. Gabe from Rustic Rocks, also one of our sponsors.
You know, real G's move in silence like lasagna.
That's right. That's right. So thank you to Gabe and Rustic Rocks. He does an awesome job. Check out his Facebook page for the work he's done. So thanks to our sponsors. Let's start off with the Super Bowl, gentlemen. You know, I think everybody here said the Chiefs.
I said Chiefs.
I picked the Chiefs. I didn't really want the Chiefs to win, to be honest.
I didn't either.
But I just kind of felt that was the way it was
Statistically,
going.
they probably should have won.
So the Chiefs played mediocre football in the first half. I felt like the score could have been a wider differential at halftime. San Francisco had some opportunities in the
turn
first
the ball
half.
over twice. Can't do that.
McCaffrey did.
Yeah.
Which was shocking.
Yep.
And then when push comes to shove, kicker missed the first extra point of the season. Their
Weird.
star
It's weird.
Greenlaw, he steps onto the field and tears his ACL. Weird.
Did he? It was a torn ACL?
It was an ACL tear.
Okay, I had a few after me.
And so you could see it pop if you slow-mo the video down. And then, here's what I'm going to say. And I'll start here, but I want to get your opinion on it, Evan. I think Brock Purdy played a winnable game. Mm-hmm. His defense did not come through for him when it mattered. And I don't think Debo played a spectacular game either.
Yeah, I think Purdy put them in position to win. You can't turn the ball over twice. I thought, though, at least for 3/4 of the game, that the 49ers defensive line did a pretty good job of, forcing Mahomes to eject out of the pocket early. He did not look comfortable.
Pass rush.
But the problem is if you give Mahomes enough opportunities, he's going to make you pay.
Yep.
And that was the thing is I knew as soon as, there was too much time on the clock because I thought the Chiefs were going to go down and win it in regulation.
Right. So did I.
Because you had, a minute 40 left?
Right.
Just too much time. They were either going to go win it or kick a field goal to go to overtime.
Right.
But, yeah, I mean, if you're the 49ers and you're watching this game, you had chances.
You did. I mean, you had the 4th
early.
and 1. Well,
did.
and late you had chances.
Yeah.
I mean, you had the chance to kick the extra point, which would put them up 4.
Yeah.
That was a huge miss. And then in overtime.
That changed it.
Yeah, it did. And then in overtime, you have a chance to punch it in. And their momentum kind of slowed them down. And they had to settle for the field goal, and that was done. You knew what was going to happen next.
With that, though, too, I saw an interesting post. Should they have gone? Should they have tried to score a touchdown there? You give the ball back to Mahomes, they're going to at least get a field goal.
Do you know
right?
who I was thinking of in that moment? Dan Campbell.
Yeah.
I was thinking, is this the time to do it? Is this the time to roll the dice?
Is this my time to pull out the ace or no?
Dan Campbell, you have 20 in blackjack. Hit me.
Yeah, exactly. That was awesome.
Here's what I don't understand about that game. I'll tell you what. I felt like the reality was the stars were aligning. Casey was going to win that game, right? Even though they're the underdogs statistically because they've been there before, they have the more experience.
Yep.
Here's what I don't understand. You guys understand that at halftime, Travis Kelce, which is said to be one of the best tight ends in the world.
Yep.
Right? And I'm not sure who's dating, but the reality is that he was one catch for 1 yard.
Yep.
Did you guys see that play?
He
Went
had,
over there and just lit up Andy Reid.
I didn't like that.
It was because he wasn't on the field, and he
was pissed
because there was a missed block.
There was a missed block, and he's
So
like,
what is he yelling at him in that moment?
that he should have been in the game.
That's what he was yelling.
He goes, "Why am I on the sideline?" Because there was a missed block that led to a fumble.
Do you think if they lost that we would just be saying, "Oh, it was a friendly whatever," and I lost my balance and whatever?
No.
We wouldn't be talking about. We would be talking about some
people are still talking about it, but I mean
it doesn't matter. It's a moot point.
I mean, did you watch the post game? I mean, that is Travis Kelce.
Right.
But, Evan, I don't understand.
Taylor Swift, red flag, buddy. Red flag.
It's the biggest game of the year, and you're going into the third quarter, and Travis Kelce's had one play for 1 yard.
You could say it on both sides. I mean, George Kittle, for the most part, didn't do anything either.
Yeah, he
That's
didn't
two of the
do
best
anything.
tight ends.
Yeah, they didn't use him at all.
And really,
I don't understand that.
Really up until Kelce had two late catches.
The one in overtime was huge.
Yep. Outside of those two, so one was to pick up a first down, and one was a long.
Yep.
He didn't really
Yep.
do much other than
He
that.
didn't
No.
do a whole lot, yeah.
I mean, when you go back and rewind the tape, I don't know if I blame anybody on San Francisco other than the turnovers and the defense. The defense let them down.
And a missed extra point.
And a missed extra point. The kicker wasn't.
But I thought that their defense
amazing
played
all season, so.
Their defense did play well enough.
They did to win. If
To
you
win.
hold Mahomes,
100%.
the way they were playing down the stretch, if you
Under
hold
20
Mahomes,
in regulation,
you're going to win
got a
the
chance to
majority
win.
of those games.
That's fair.
And so you look back at Mahomes, he cemented his place in history, no doubt about that.
For sure.
3 MVPs.
Kermit the Frog, baby.
Yep, and 333 yards. I said 400 yards, if you remember a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I said he'll go for 400. Now, that was not counting overtime. They have an excellent chance of the three-peat. I think they have one of the best coaches of all time.
I love Andy Reid.
He is phenomenal.
I
Adjustments.
don't mind Mahomes. Great talent. The Kelce, Taylor Swift side story.
Yeah.
Not a big fan overall, but Andy Reid and his cheeseburgers post game, love that guy.
Who tweeted out? Waffle House tweeted out. There was a picture of him with like the play sheet.
Yeah.
And on the third picture, they zoomed in on the flip side, and it was like an all-star menu from the Waffle House.
Yes, good dude.
It's good, dude. The corn dog won the game, by the way, on the final play. That's what it was called, the corn
There you
dog.
go.
So they win it. Who are your early picks for next season? Let's just do the way too early.
Did you just set this up on like the AT&T and I'm about to tee off? Because
Yeah.
I'm like, oh.
I know you wanted to talk about it, buddy. Let's roll the
I don't know.
dice
I'm
here.
sitting-
What do we got for next season? The
sitting
way
on
too
19.
early.
I'm going to show you before I show the
here we
camera
go.
right here.
Okay.
This just came from MCDC. You know who MCDC is?
Yeah.
Motor Sitter Dan Campbell. Look at this. Read that.
We're going to the Super Bowl next year.
Hey.
Like with tickets to
Listen,
watch it, or
it's like saying like WestWind versus everybody. I mean, listen, I'm telling you what. Here's what I'll tell you.
Okay.
The Lions are set up to make another run at it. Vahid's shaking his head. He thinks Green Bay's going to be there. Man, it's possible. You never know. But I'll tell you, the Lions are set up. They're bringing everybody back. They haven't lost anybody. And all those guys are locked up for 30 to 40 years. Like, we have another 4 years with those boys before anything changes. So we didn't lose our offensive coordinator. We didn't lose our defensive coordinator. We didn't lose our head coach. And we keep all the same players. I like this statement. And I'm going to show everybody. Can we get this on the camera? All right, real quick. Here, let's see.
He's excited about it.
And I'll read it one more time. He says, we're going to the Super Bowl next year. Dan Campbell. So mark your calendars down because today is the day before my brother's birthday. 2/12 of 2024 that this is happening. And if we're here a year later and that happens, I just want to say I want the chain.
Nostradamus.
he should have been more clear though.
I know.
We're going there to play in the Super Bowl.
Right. To only lose to Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs.
I love it.
That would be a great game though.
It would be a great game, but it would be amazing if they would make it there, but I don't think they are.
Okay, that's fair.
I think it's going to be Detroit at Green Bay next year.
Wow.
For the NFC Championship. The way that Jordan Love and the Packers played at the end of that season, they were the only team. They were the only team to hold Kansas City to under 20 points this year.
Hey,
That's pretty impressive.
at the beginning of the season, if we go back and listen to the podcast, nobody believed in Jordan Love. At the end of the podcast, everybody was loving Jordan Love.
Well, he had huge. I mean, when you look at the maturity of a quarterback over like a 10 to 12 week period, is that unprecedented to see something like that?
I mean, it's no, because
who do you accredit that
It's
to?
the longest stretch of him consistently playing. I mean, you go from playing all the time in college to then being a backup for a couple years, and then being thrown in, there's going to be a little bit of a learning curve and an adjustment. And I think they settled in at the right time. And I mean, I don't think none of us in this room thought they were going to make the playoffs.
Let's make this comment. He fits in the system. Isn't that what Brock Purdy is?
Brock Purdy, isn't that what Jeff George is?
But guess what? Hey, they were playing.
Who's the
every
I can't remember his name.
I think every quarterback that is successful in the NFL or college, for that matter,
fits into a system.
It matters.
Fits into a system.
I mean, you look at Baker Mayfield this year.
Yeah,
not a good fit.
That's
in
a
Cleveland.
great example.
Not a good fit in Cleveland, and then he
100%
goes.
agree.
But you saw what he could do at Oklahoma.
Yep.
All these dudes that get to the NFL, they're good.
Yeah.
There's a reason why
So,
they're there.
I have a question for you then. If you placed Patrick Mahomes, arguably one of the best quarterbacks of all time now, on the Jaguars, do they win the Super Bowl? Or is he a system quarterback?
No, I mean, the thing though that
Fully loaded question.
But here's being in the system also has to, part of the answer to that question has to do with what the organization does around you. Okay, so I mean you could say Jared Goff's a system quarterback, but it's because they built a team to have success at the offensive and defensive line, and then got some key pieces, on offense and defense. The teams that struggle, even with high caliber draft picks at quarterback, are when they focus on that and then don't build, in my opinion, an offensive and defensive line. I mean, the Lions, they drafted wide receivers for years and years, thinking that it was going to change.
7 years in a row.
But is that how you build an organization? Is you choose a quarterback, build around him, or do you pick the pieces and then put the quarterback who can fit that system?
I think it's you build the pieces first, and then usually, unless they're a massive bust, the quarterbacks that are going to make it to the NFL are all going to be NFL caliber quarterbacks.
Yep.
Certainly, there are some special guys. I mean, Mahomes is special, right?
Yeah.
He's gifted.
Tom Brady's special.
Right.
Those guys are different. So I think that they were able to affect change maybe quicker than some, just based on their skill level, will to win, the it factor, whatever you want to call it. But if you do some things, I cite the Lions. I've done it a couple of times now because for years I was saying what's their front office doing?
Right.
It's backwards in the NFL because there are so many good players. Running backs and receivers are a dime a dozen. I mean, and especially at running back too, where it's a 3 or 4 year average. Mm-hmm. You get the best on the defensive line, the offensive line, and then you trade for quarterback. I mean, they had Matt Stafford. He's all pro. Great quarterback.
Yep.
And then he goes to L.A.
But around him,
With the Super Bowl.
they were up and down, right?
True.
Well, I mean, and think about, and this, I think, ultimately for me goes back to the question of, does the quarterback make the wide receiver better, or does the wide receiver make the quarterback
There's an
put up
element
big
to that.
numbers?
And I think you brought this up maybe a few podcasts ago, and it had to do with Justin Fields.
Right.
You plug Justin Fields into, I don't know, Lions, Chiefs. I don't know if I put all my money on them winning, but they're still going to be one of the best teams in the NFL.
I mean, it came down to the intangibles when you're looking at the game the other night. If the teams were switched, like if Brock Purdy was on the Chiefs, does he make some of those plays to win the game at the end of the game?
Hell no.
You don't think? You think
No
there
way.
is such a big difference?
I think he does.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He made some great throws in that game.
He did. He had
was
over-the-shoulder
solid.
catch towards the sideline. That was a hell of a
You're
throw.
saying if Purdy was on the Chiefs,
Correct.
he would make the same throws that Mahomes made?
Well, it's not the throws, because I think he has good throws. Does he have as good of an arm as Mahomes? No. But can he make the throws when he needs to make the throws? Absolutely.
He's athletic, though.
But it's the decision-making process, right?
But if you do flip quarterbacks, 49ers win if Mahomes is a quarterback.
Billion percent.
You think? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think who said that? Like,
But what's
somebody said they would win by 2 scores if they had
Maybe.
Mahomes.
I mean, you think so? I don't know.
What draft pick was Mahomes? Just out of
I
curiosity.
think he was a second rounder.
Yeah.
Second rounder?
I mean, he put up some silly numbers at Texas Tech, but it was a little bit of
Maybe a first rounder.
I don't know if he was.
I don't think he was. I felt
Either end of first round or like a second round.
Because, I mean, he was a tough guy to project into the NFL because you were kind of at a little bit of a crossroads with how the quarterback position was being played in the NFL because you kind of had that old guard of, pocket passers.
Well,
that just stayed,
Roethlisberger.
yeah,
You still had
Brady. All those guys, it was,
I think Peyton was still in the league,
yeah,
honestly.
I mean, those are all great examples of, the top echelon quarterbacks were all guys play action fake, stay in the pocket, make your throws, get it to your playmakers.
Yeah.
And then you started to see this little bit of shift. And really, Mahomes is one of those guys where he couldn't, if he had not gone to Kansas City and Andy Reid was like, hey, we're going all in on this, we're going to change things up.
Yeah, fair.
Right.
You wouldn't have called him a bust. It would have just been like, oh, he's a second round draft pick that didn't work out.
I think, if we're talking Super Bowl teams next year, the Chiefs are a lock to me again, unless Lamar can win a game in the postseason.
Or unless you're Dan Campbell.
Unless you're Dan Campbell. Lions versus everybody.
Lions versus everybody. We're going to win the Super Bowl next year.
Are we excited about the start of spring camp here for football?
Sure.
Are we talking about
Wah.
University of Michigan or Notre Dame? I don't know.
All right.
I don't think either program should be too excited.
I'm not real excited.
The early returns here. Does either team win 10 games next year?
No.
My early prediction is that Michigan will be 9-4.
I was going to be around 9 wins.
Yeah, 9 wins.
It's like a complete rebuild.
It's a bloodbath.
They lost a lot.
Everybody's
They lost
jumping
a
ship.
lot of guys.
They did. Notre Dame gets some people in the transfer portal.
I
Still, the jury's out on the wide receiving core
Yes,
because it's all brand new again. The jury's out on Leonard.
I think it is too.
Yeah.
He got injured a lot last year.
He's an injured-prone quarterback, yeah.
So you could, literally, it could be peanut butter and jelly time still, and it could be Minchie
This is going to be the strangest NCAA season in a long time
because of the playoff.
because of the playoff and the transfer portal.
First 12, yeah.
I think it's going to be the hardest to pick who is going to be in the championship game next year.
Yeah, there'll be
Yeah,
some
and-
Rosters have changed so much.
Georgia's actually has stayed pretty much similar.
Yeah.
Georgia.
Yeah.
Alabama is going to be a
Change of the
completely
guard.
different.
Don't know. Everybody left Washington.
Florida State.
Yeah.
Nobody's high on Florida State. Oregon, maybe.
What about
But
Chip?
in the Big Ten.
But they lose Bo Nix.
And they're in the Big Ten.
What about Chip going to OSU?
Oh,
As the offensive coordinator. I'm
There
like,
have been some
what is
strange
going on?
moves.
I mean, I'm like,
Hey.
that's who. Yeah.
Who's going to come out of the Big Ten next year? Is it Ohio State?
Early returns say yes. Penn State's going to be good again.
You mean they're going to be average again?
I think Oregon has a good chance. And look at Oregon's schedule. Oregon's schedule is pretty tough.
If I was a gambler, man, and I'm a Michigan fan,
But-
and Oregon's joining the Big Ten,
But
I'm with you, buddy.
there is one
Quack, quack,
big
quack.
but,
All
and
the
I
way to the Big
cannot
Ten
lie.
championship.
Nice.
That is they. That is priceless.
Hey!
Give it to him. Oh, there it is. The chain just got handed. That was pretty good. Yeah.
Thanks, buddy.
Don't lose the bag.
If we're going to crown him, crown him.
Yeah. Crown him up.
So, following up on this big butt cannot lie situation, if they are going to win, they're going to have to do it coming across the country to play college football. And I think that is the hardest thing to do if you're a West Coast team to come all the way to Madison, Wisconsin, or let's say they go to Rutgers and they're playing an East Coast time zone at noon when it could be 9 o'clock back home.
Well, they'll just show up on Thursday.
Yeah, I guess.
Here's the bigger one is playing in November.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Those boys on the West Coast have never played the Midwest. When it's freaking
UCLA's in the Big Ten too?
Yeah. Hey, you know why?
No, it's USC,
Yep.
Oregon,
Yep.
Washington,
and UCLA.
UCLA.
and
Yeah.
UCLA.
Stanford's
Hey.
in the ACC.
Yeah, sorry.
They're probably okay.
That
with
makes a lot of sense.
But hey, you know why Notre Dame plays when they play Stanford and USC and they flip flop? The home game
Is
for the West Coast team is always in October,
October.
and then it's always Notre Dame
November.
on the road.
That's correct.
In California because they don't want to come play in the cold.
That's true.
It's always been that way.
So you think Notre Dame doesn't win 10 games this season? Texas A&M. I think we went over this, but you start the year with at Texas A&M.
So will Michigan be ahead of Notre Dame in the polls at the end of the season? That's what
I don't think so.
Oh, wow.
I think Notre Dame cracks the top 25.
Top 25? Michigan's top 15?
So, I hate to say it now if that's your prediction, but is Freeman's job on the line then after that?
So hold on. If they don't, basically, if they miss the playoffs, do you think he is finding another job? So they could finish like 16th. They could still crack the top 25 and not make the playoff. 3 losses. Do you think they make the playoff?
The new playoff system benefits Notre Dame
100%.
if Brian Kelly was still the coach. He would make the playoffs every year.
Yeah, he did.
Minus 1 year.
So, but do you think his job's on the line if he doesn't make the playoff?
Be honest, Evan.
I don't think so. I would say yes, but I don't think so.
Yeah, he stands for the principle of what Notre Dame wants. He's got the boys going back to Mass, right? Call what it is. Evan, hey, this Wednesday is Ash Wednesday. You better go to Mass.
All right.
You did go to Notre Dame.
I'm sorry. Are we going to church or winning football games? It's the same as Cardell Jones.
I love the way this man.
Cardell Jones. I'm not here to play school.
Yeah. Here's what I'll tell you though. I think Freeman fits what Notre Dame wants.
100%. Checks all the boxes.
He checks all the boxes. They want him to succeed. So hey, Michigan gave Harbaugh 9 years? Took us 9 years to win the Natty. Not that I'm bringing it up. We won the Natty.
He also played at Michigan.
I know, but I get it. But I do believe that. Look at the last coaches since Lou left.
Yeah,
it's been ugly for the Irish. Let's call it what it is. In my opinion, it's been ugly. They haven't had that caliber coaches. Maybe with the exception of BK. Right?
I think
he didn't want to play.
I think he took him to what he thought the ceiling was,
and that's why he jumped ship.
I can speak freely now.
Okay. All right. Yeah. You're off the. Yeah.
I can speak freely.
Freemanly.
I like Marcus Freeman a lot. He's a good dude.
I do think he's good.
He's a good coach.
I agree.
The job is to win national championships.
I agree.
Graduate everybody.
I agree with that.
I thought about our last conversation a lot. I actually listened to the podcast back, of course, and I thought about the last one a lot. I just, man, you got to win a national championship. You have to.
You got to start with
it's
winning
coming up
10
on
games.
40 years.
Is that how long it's been?
1988. 1988.
Was Timmy Brown there?
Or
was that Rocket?
I was born in 1988.
Oh my God! That now is
So 36 years ago.
that's a
I respect that. Yeah. But it is. If you don't think they're going to win the national championship this year, we're creeping up on 4 decades here, and there hasn't been. You keep changing coaches every couple of years. Yeah. You don't think they're ever going to win another championship in our lifetime? This is a big question. We got about 50 years left, buddy.
This is like that GIF emoji.
Do you think they win a
in the
championship?
next 50?
Yes.
I'm just thinking over the next 10. No, not in the next 10.
Wow. Bold proclamation.
It's tough. In today's college football world, it's tough.
And it's getting harder.
However,
I think it's going to be harder for Notre Dame to win.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
you do?
Yeah.
You got to start playing.
Because of the portal.
I don't think they're all in on NIL and transfer portal. I don't think they're in.
Yep. Play in the sandbox.
I'm sorry.
If you're not getting the
You mean they're like
sandbox,
Clemson? They're like kind of Clemson-y right now.
Yeah. That's a good comparison.
Yeah.
But if you're
It's a
paying
little-
$1.5 million for a quarterback, or promising him that,
Again, the
doesn't
quarterback
matter?
position does not matter. Everybody has quarterbacks. And there's going to be a new quarterback in the transfer portal every year.
yeah.
Dabo doesn't like the NIL.
I know he doesn't. And
No, he
guess
doesn't.
what?
And guess they're suffering.
They're going to be left behind.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
You can't get it done now. And sorry, 24/7 Sports and On3. And I know they're shifting how they look at it now too.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure there.
It's not about recruiting.
We talked about this last
It's not.
podcast.
Yeah.
I like that take a
Your
lot.
recruiting classes do not matter. Those rankings Doesn't matter if you're top 10.
Doesn't matter
I mean,
if
it does a
4-star,
little bit,
5-star.
but you can fill gaps by
Yeah, the transfer.
spending the money.
Yep.
Yeah, it's it's going to be tough for them, but based on Jack's comments, winning a championship's important to them.
I don't believe it. Jack was there when I was there.
Do you think the same is going to hold true for Pete Bavacqua? Or do you think it's about the TV contract first?
I don't know. I don't know enough. And Jack was great, but I think he knew that it was limited there as well.
And you think he thought basically the same thing that Brian Kelly thought at the end of the day?
Yeah, that's why BK walked away.
It is not an it is not an athletic vision problem.
For football.
Yes. It is an academic and I guess we say a Notre Dame problem.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I don't know if it can be overcome. You are the top Catholic institute, maybe globally. Everybody
Correct.
knows you.
That is
Correct.
fair.
It's a global brand.
Correct.
So are you going to pivot and be like, all right, we're going in on the Wild West? We've been saying this for hundreds of years. I don't think so. They're not going to hire that type of person because it doesn't check those boxes.
That's
That's
why
badly
they like Freeman.
And
he checks
Vahid,
the boxes.
I am with you. I want Freeman to have success.
Yeah.
Looks the part, acts the part, all those things.
He's got his own clothing line.
I would love it. And maybe I'm wrong. I'm not hedging my bets. That's how I feel.
No, I think you
'Cause
make
I-
very, very valid points.
Because I saw it from the back end where
But I think he
You
leaves
had-
before he
you
loses
had-
his job.
probably you had
fair.
you had a complete NFL asshole in Weiss.
Yep. Well, okay, let's go back. Davey.
Well, yeah,
Give me a sentence for each one. Davies.
I don't know.
Davey couldn't read a Rand McNally map.
Okay.
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 Willingham got
Willingham.
fired. He got fired too soon.
Too soon.
It was year 4.
Weiss.
Weiss just didn't connect with the college player. He did some great things for the program. Mm-hmm. That
He's pompous though too.
that correct.
Completely pompous.
He didn't play the political game. Kelly did to a certain extent, but no one liked Kelly. But Notre Dame fans didn't like Kelly.
Hold on.
Crazy, and yet he was winning.
Hold on,
But guess
That's
what?
what I
hold
don't
on,
get.
hold on.
Hey,
Would you rather have the asshole doctor
wins?
that performs the surgery or the nice guy that gets you up to the final minutes and then it's like, sorry, I lost him?
I lost him.
Well, I mean,
He at each stop.
I don't know.
At each stop, Kelly has been known to be consistently a douchebag,
Yeah.
but consistently won. One at Grand Valley.
Yep.
One at Central.
Guy's a
one
winner.
at Cincy.
Yep.
And guess what? At each place, he left during the bowl game. So why were Notre Dame fans surprised when he got a $100 million contract to leave to LSU, and they're like, he should have stayed for the players and gone and coached the bowl game. Last 3 places, he didn't do it either.
Yeah. That's fair.
He is who he is.
Yeah.
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 So I think, I give Weiss credit. He did some things. Had he not been hired when he was,
Yeah.
and I think Willingham, they would have won when I was there. It would have been 8 or 9 games. He was a great coach, great person. That was the big thing. He checked those boxes as a Notre Dame guy. Was very CEO-ish. Okay, I'm up here. I'm going to let my offensive and defensive coordinators do their thing.
That's how Belichick did it, though.
But-
I'm guessing.
I think he was pretty involved, especially on the defensive side. I really do. But what Weiss did was updated the facilities, changed or helped get the rules changed on how players were accepted into Notre Dame.
Yep.
So prior to with Willingham, they could not offer a scholarship to a recruit until they got accepted academically.
Right.
Weiss changed that.
Yeah, sure.
So that was a big change. I think his downfall was he approached it too much like the NFL. And then you have Brian Kelly come in, similar personality, but I don't know if saying that he knew how to connect with college players. I think he understood the college landscape better than Weiss, and you saw the success then that he had consistently. With Freeman, I don't know how to – I think he needs to be more of an asshole.
Yeah.
Get a little chip on his shoulder, yeah.
I don't know.
I think I've seen a change. I mean, obviously, your first year is going to be your first year, right? You're
A lot of
feeling
growing
it out.
pains.
A lot of growing pains.
A lot of growing pains.
The second year, I could sense a little more of that CEO mentality over the team. But I do think that's part of his thing. Like, I mean, like, I think he has to be involved. It's like, I don't know how to, like, you know, when people come into the brewery, they want to see you.
There's no doubt about it. That's a real thing.
When they go to Notre Dame, they want to see Freeman.
Yeah, sure.
Freeman is as much of a celebrity now as the guys who he's rubbing elbows with. Dub City, right? He was seen with Steph Curry the other night, right? Courtside in the Indiana Pacers game. That's him. If you're a student athlete at Notre Dame, you want to be coached by that guy. The guy that came into the living room and was like, "Oh, dude, like we're gonna do this thing. We're gonna make you the star on the commercials that we do for Notre Dame and all this other stuff."
Freaking commercials do
But
less.
it's true. I mean, hey,
They want to be with the guy.
Michigan players are jumping ships since Harbaugh's left.
So if I was Marcus Freeman, I'd be like, well, I kind of owe it to these guys to be in the rooms, to be there. Yes, I think you're absolutely right. I think he needs to assert himself more than he is in those situations. You know, like Brian Kelly is not anybody's friend there. He gets in and he's like, yo, I'm running the show. If you don't like it, get the hell out of here. Mm-hmm. That's Brian Kelly. Yeah. And I think Brian Kelly's going to be in the Final Four
with a
next
Southern
year, by the
accent,
way. I think
course.
LSU is going to be in the Final Four. Best quarterback in the nation.
Wow.
He wins. He wins football games.
Dude knows how to win.
And I think
And you know what else he knows? He knows how to win in the playoffs.
right. And I truly believe
Fair
that
comment.
Freeman is still learning that. It's like Lamar Jackson learning how to win the big game.
So here's a question. Is Notre Dame the place to learn?
I mean,
I think
it's a
that
place to learn.
I think they had to hire him. Otherwise, it probably would be way worse right now. You know, they needed to keep recruits. They needed to keep some
Isn't
of that
that what
staff.
Michigan just did? Michigan just took a page out of Notre Dame's book, and they
Well, so you think they wait 9 years?
Well,
I don't
no,
think
hey,
programs are
but-
waiting 9
hey,
years anymore,
but
though, buddy.
Here's the thing. Better than hiring Rich Rodriguez like they did when Lloyd Carr retired.
100% agree with
yeah.
that comment. Yeah,
You gotta bridge the gap somehow.
Sharon was but I think that's what Notre Dame did too.
I feel bad for him
Yeah.
because of how many guys are gone.
Oh yeah, people are jumping ship. Coaches are jumping ship. That guy's gonna be walking around and like.
But Michigan will be back.
Yeah, they will, but
I think
it's gonna be a rough 5-6 years.
I agree.
That's what I'm calling right now.
Boy.
And I'm a Michigan
The
fan.
blue bloods of college football. It's going to be a different year. I think you're right.
Nitty-gritty.
It's going to be a
it's going
different
to be
year.
a weird year.
All right, well, this is the Varsity Brews podcast. We're going to be back with Julia's Uncut Gems and a little taste test of the brand new ice delay here at WestWind Brewery.
I love it. Let's do it.
Welcome back to the Varsity Brews podcast, where we talk college football, NFL football, and craft beer. And we've got a special one here right now. We're, of course, going to pour live on the air.
Apparently.
This is happening in real time. We're going to pour the new ice delay.
Yeah, we haven't even released this yet, so let me go
All
over
right,
there
we'll
pour a couple.
We'll create a path here so we can see what he's doing.
Can you say that one more time, though? Just after I need ice delay said in the most adamant
like ice,
Vahid
baby.
form.
I'm going to go to his mic, hot mic,
You
on my
ready?
tippy toes. Have him come this way just a
What are we
little
doing?
bit.
You're just going to say ice delay. Like
Ice delay.
delay.
Ice
Ice, baby.
delay.
delay. Okay, it seemed a lot cooler in my head.
I thought that was
we
pretty
just
cool.
Didn't do a very good job.
What?
Maybe we dropped the ball.
Yeah.
No, I think that was just.
Look at him pouring it out of that thing. So
This is
It's
like.
super hard to pour out of the tank, by the way.
is it really?
Yeah. It is, yeah. There's like no control,
No control, he said.
You know,
There's no
this is a
control if you
sample
can't hear.
valve. They call it a sample valve. This
Sample
is,
valve.
Graduate studies urology, Vahid.
I feel like I'm the
Yeah.
the algae.
I was just gonna say it's
You're good, buddy.
Thanks,
really
dude.
hard to control, and never mind.
What?
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
I know you guys hit the sauna earlier.
Oh
but-
my
I'm
gosh.
not
No, we
going.
actually didn't.
Oh, cheers. Cheers. Julia, back on the podcast here.
Hi-oh.
This
Guess who's
is Uncut Gems. All right,
Let's
Do it.
Julia. Oh,
Okay.
cheers, by the way.
Oh, yeah, cheers. Can I'm going to
This
ice.
is Delay 5.5 pomegranate.
Basically a
Ooh,
health
this
drink.
is refreshing.
It's got a nice, almost like a cranberry. I mean,
Pomegranate-y.
pomegranate antioxidant.
I'm all about the
We're
antioxidants,
gonna
buddy.
smash this.
I hate oxidants. So against them.
I'm pro-oxidants.
I'm just antioxidants.
Right?
It's good.
Does this fit into the El Carne diet?
You know what this kind of reminds me of?
Mixing it in, yeah.
All right.
It kind of reminds me of like a rosé almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see
Like,
that.
this is nice.
And
like,
the color is like to a T of a
it's like a
rosé.
pomegranate rosé. Sorry, I
I
said
like it.
rosé, and my wife is over there like, ooh, rosé. I'll pour one out for you.
Wink, wink.
Pour one out for my homies.
Okay, yeah.
Super tasty. I'm excited.
All right, so Uncut Gems, we're going to do a little differently. I'm going to kind of treat it like, obviously, I have the gem. I'm just not going to give it right away. I'm going to ask if you guys can guess. So
Okay.
I'm just curious. That's why I was like, man, we need all three of you on this. So.
All right.
All right, so I had it right here. Sorry. Skirt. All right, so do you guys know who was the first to play in the very first Super Bowl ever?
Yes, Green Bay versus the Kansas City Chiefs.
Man, they've been around for.
Green Bay won.
They
Yeah?
did.
They did win? Yeah.
35-17.
There's some really
Anybody
good
else on
pictures.
the score?
Tough.
You said 35-17?
Yeah, was I wrong?
I can either confirm or
24-10.
deny.
No,
Just throw some,
they
I
scored
don't
in
know,
the
play the
30s.
Powerball.
21-17.
34-20.
21-17.
35-10.
Ah,
That's
close. That was close.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
That was 1967, by the
I'm
way.
just over here like
There's a
Kansas
great-
City Chiefs.
There's a great picture. I think it was the Chiefs quarterback at halftime.
Len Dawson, yeah.
He's smoking a cigarette and drinking a
That's
Fresca.
awesome. That's awesome. That's how they used to do it, buddy.
So there's 12 NFL teams that have never won the Super Bowl. Okay, but listen,
Sorry,
we're going to
buddy.
narrow it.
Come on,
Hey,
Julie, relax.
hey,
MCDC.
these are just facts. They're not
Facts
You know, we
with a
can.
Z.
Next
Are we coming up with all 12?
No, that I was going to finish my sentence, but 4 have never even been to the Super Bowl. So
Yep.
does anybody have the 4th?
Yes.
Jacksonville?
Jacksonville's one.
Jacksonville's one.
Detroit is the other.
Lions is, yeah.
Hold on. Going through my list here.
And I have a great
Have the Browns been to the
clue for
If
if you need a clue.
No,
just let
the
me-
Browns.
Yep, Browns is one of them. Yep, yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, so
Okay.
we got 3 of the 4.
And the other one is
You would think it's probably a newer.
Okay, can you guys just recite what you had?
we had Jacksonville.
Jacksonville, the Detroit
Browns.
Lions, and Browns are 3 of the 4.
The other one is in the
gotta be an
AFC, I
expansion
think.
team,
It's in
yeah, it's gotta be an expansion team. If it had gone through
Colts.
my media.
Oh, the Houston Texans.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's who I
Yep.
would have thought it would have been. Yeah,
My head was with the Oilers.
Oilers.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the Oilers went to a Super Bowl either.
They did.
They won a championship. I don't think they've been to the Super Bowl, though.
All right. So those are the 4 teams that have never been. So
Yeah.
good job, guys. You guys are doing great. My
Apparently it
uncut
changes.
gems
I love
are
this
maybe
segment.
they're a little cut, I guess. They're not uncut.
No, I love this segment. Let's keep it
Hey,
rolling.
all right. So, does anybody have a guesstimate on average how many footballs are used with, basically for the kickers or throughout the game? So,
Super Bowl?
Practice balls?
How many? So
How many rotated in and out?
Regular game. I know it's a lot.
Yeah.
okay, so yeah, I'm trying to think how to word this because I'm looking at the info here. So, okay, so per team, we're talking like practice. We're talking just the use of however many footballs are used during the
You want to go first?
game.
During the game
I
or
think
during
it's-
kicks?
Bless you.
Free kicks?
Game used balls.
Like I'm saying, yes, in the
Okay.
Super Bowl.
Game used balls. All right.
Game used balls.
Figure
Okay.
the average kicker. Do the math in my head. I'm gonna come up with a good answer.
I don't know. The
X
number,
amount of
the
time.
number where I'm sitting at, it could be over this though. I don't know. I still think that might be low.
So you're okay. Let's say practice. Let's put.
No, practice.
Well,
I'll
hold
go
on.
first.
Talk about practice.
Okay, you going first?
I'll go first.
Okay, go first.
I think they used about 35 footballs during the game.
I'm gonna say,
It's a lot of footballs.
yeah.
Yeah, you think about that. I mean,
25.
You going with the over?
I'm going with. Can I ask a question again? Does it include practice or no? Yes or
I'm.
nay?
I'm trying to break this down.
I think it would be balls that are in play.
Okay, I'm going with 17.
Okay. I'm just going to read this because, again, I don't, the way they're wording it, you guys are taking it very specifically, and so I'm not sure that. I'm just going to read this fact. So let's just say this is so uncut, yo. Anyway, so they use a lot of balls. I mean,
The answer is a lot.
108 total footballs
really?
per team. 54 of those are meant for practice, and 54 are meant for the game. On
54
average,
game.
during the Super Bowl, 120 footballs are used, with the rest used for the kickers.
Oh, wow.
So again, that didn't give me context. You guys were being
You
very
know why that
specific.
number is so high though?
Well, you figure an average kicker kicks
No.
what? 25
The
kicks?
reason
30
that
kicks?
number is so high is so that they can sell them after the game as Super Bowl balls.
Oh, that's a big. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, sure, absolutely. Yeah, this ball was used
Hey,
in the Super Bowl.
hey, really quick though. I don't know if I ever, I haven't been on since this happened, but for Christmas, we had our white, did you tell them? No, you probably didn't. So it was kind of funny because I went on eBay this one time just because I think it's fun to randomly search Evan's name. And he hates this, and I just think it's funny because I then want to buy the items and be really funny because he gets really annoyed, and I'm a good wife. So I think
You are.
Thank you. But so we had our white elephant gift exchange, and it was really funny because mine was specifically meant for my brother-in-law, and I told him, please, just get that one. It's for you.
Are
He
you
goes,
gonna say what that was?
no. But then I said, he's like, I will if you get mine. Well, as it turns out, he had seen the link that I sent my sister, and it said, it was this index card,
It was a white index.
a white index card, and it said, to Ike, Evan Sharpley.
Wow.
And it was like,
Was it signed?
Yeah.
by Evan, and it
I
said,
personalized the index
to
card
Ike.
that he
So
then
Ike
for
sold his
$4.99.
baseball card, and
No,
that
it wasn't even a baseball card.
or not a baseball card. I'm sorry. There's a lot of those, but this was the index card.
Just
And
a plain white index card.
It was.
on eBay for $2.99.
and so
Deal.
$2.99?
and so my brother-in-law bought it and framed it, and then proceeded
Dang.
to tell everybody, the whole family, stats on Evan because he'd been Googling him for this presentation.
That's awesome.
So of course he didn't tell that story, and I don't even know where that came from. But anyway, that was.
I did comment on your jerseys the other day.
Oh yeah.
I need an Evan Sharpley jersey.
We got him.
I,
We should get
I
an
would
Evan
pay big
Sharpley
money
jersey.
for that, to frame it and put it up
I've
there.
already
the
got
Varsity
one framed
Brews?
if you want it.
Yes.
Yeah, hell yeah.
For
Okay,
context, my kids' co-op day had a twin matching day, and so we both went with Evan's old jerseys that his sister and mom
Yeah.
wore or something.
Yeah, I was for a short period of time. They were selling my jersey in the bookstore at Notre Dame.
That's amazing.
Hey, should we get 13 or
Wow.
11?
No.
Can you sign to
Well,
Ike?
the one I
To
saw
Ike.
was 13, right?
13.
13.
Yeah.
I want a 13 jersey.
I tried to change my number every year.
Yeah.
And
To 11?
Weiss was like, or 3, but
Two
Tommy
numbers.
was 11.
there was no way. Well, he was number 13 as a freshman.
You wanted 11 though, didn't you?
That's
So
his
then
favorite
11
number.
became
One of the
available?
podcasts,
Yeah,
Evan
11
wanted
yeah.
11. That's why I said 11 or
Yeah.
13. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then Weiss is like, Dan Marino wore 13. I was like, I don't care.
What the hell does that have to do with anything? Damn. I need a 13 jersey in my life, though. That is 100%. Thank you for those uncut gems.
Oh, you're welcome.
Those are some polished gems.
Well, we don't have
So
any
polished.
predictions this week, so
Yeah. What are we actually like going to next?
should we just go back to our
Yeah,
original
we'll,
sponsor?
we'll rotate. I'm good.
So should we go back to? Well, I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna do here for a final segment because we don't have any teams to predict or anything to predict.
Is
so.
there any like this is the worst?
Oh, like the
worst time in sports. Was
like the pickleball championships or
NBA, ESPN,
NBA.
the Ocho.
the Ocho.
the Ocho? Yeah, this is the worst time in sports.
Maybe we should pick like next year's national champion.
It's too hard.
Okay, hey, pick your top 4. I
For
think
what?
That's fair for next year.
How do we do it yet?
There's going to be 12 teams because you guys are watching it. You're seeing what's happening. You know,
Georgia,
Thanks, buddy. Sorry, man.
Georgia, LSU, Oregon,
Hopefully, it doesn't
Wisconsin.
say Bama.
Ohio State,
Wisconsin.
Okay, who is it?
Georgia,
Yep.
That's fair.
LSU,
Yep.
That's fair.
Oregon,
Okay.
Ohio State.
Okay, I'm going Oregon, Texas.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah. Bam, chicka, wow, wow.
I would swap Texas out for Ohio State.
Yeah, I think Texas is gonna be dangerous.
Did you name all 4?
No, where was that? I said Oregon, Texas. I'm gonna go Georgia, and who would that be? Who would be the third? Well, it's gonna be with
LSU.
it could be LSU. Yeah, let's go. I'm gonna go with BK.
Could be Big K's year next year.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
never
if
know.
the time is right, Georgia's standing in their way. So I got LSU and Georgia. I got
Yeah,
Ohio.
but you don't have to win the SEC now.
Yeah, that's true. LSU, Georgia, that's 2. Ohio State, that's 3. And Texas.
How many SEC teams are going to be in the 12-team playoff?
Ole Miss, maybe.
5.
Ole Miss, maybe, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe.
I'm saying 5.
Alabama,
Maybe.
maybe. Who's the coach there now?
Dude from Washington.
I don't like that hire.
That one was strange to me.
And so, did you? By the way, speaking of hires, sorry to change the subject. While I'm remembering this, did you see who Dallas hired as their defensive coordinator for next year?
Dallas?
Who?
Don Zimmer, former coach of the Minnesota Vikings. Talk about the strangest. It was between him and Rex Ryan.
Really?
Yeah. Apparently, this was like a breaking news thing this afternoon.
Rex Ryan?
Rex
Rex
Ryan?
Ryan was a finalist for the defensive coaching job in Dallas, which you can imagine would have been a complete shit show. I don't think that's a great hire. And then you got the offensive coordinator, Chip Kelly.
Chip Kelly. Yeah, that whole.
There's some weird hires this year in the offseason.
Yeah, they're getting desperate.
And then I definitely don't like Dan Quinn in Washington.
Okay.
I just don't like that move. I think Washington is a doomed franchise. They're
Seems the Cowboys are too.
and they just ran
That's
into
fair.
a buzzsaw.
It's fair. Who's in the Super Bowl next year? You got to pick
Chiefs,
them.
Packers.
Chiefs, Packers.
Chiefs, Lions.
Ooh, you say Lions?
I'm saying Chiefs, Lions. Listen, I'm telling you what. If MCDC says they're going there, I'm all in.
It's the Varsity Brews podcast versus everybody. We'll talk to you in a couple of weeks. For Evan and Aaron, I'm Vahid. Keep it real.
Cheers.